In a Kubla Cubed project, accurate alignment of your site plans is essential. Whether you're overlaying PDFs or stitching multiple pages together, ensuring everything is perfectly aligned lays the foundation for precise volume estimations. Let's get started. To effectively overlay multiple PDF or image plans within a project, it's crucial to ensure that they are correctly aligned. Follow the steps in this video to complete the process. So we begin by importing and scaling the first plan. So go to Plans, add PDF and browse for the file that you want to import. Then we need to ensure that the PDF plan, which could be your existing plan, like I have in this example, is correctly scaled. We can see that we've got a scale here, which is a ratio of 1:80, or we can also see that the distance between the grid points is 150 feet. We could use that known length to scale by length, but on this occasion, I'll click Scale and we'll scale by ratio. So just type in 80 and we can double check that it has been done correctly by holding down the M key and dragging our cursor from the start of a known length to the end of the length. And there we can see on the cursor that it's 150 feet. So click OK. So it is essential for laying the foundation for future alignments to get this first plan correct. Once the first plan is in place, you can then add the second plan and make sure that the scales match. We add our second PDF, this time the proposed, by going to Plans, Add PDF and Browse. Once we've done that, we can then see the two plans in the model view. We need to double check that this second plan is correctly scaled by holding down the M key again, and that looks okay. But if we want to be sure, or if the scales don't match, you will need to scale it. We can just add the ratio in again. This one's also 1:80. Now we have both plans scaled correctly. On this occasion, we're going to overlay one site plan on top of the other. So we want to overlay the proposed onto the existing contours. There are two options to do this. If both plans share the same orientation, like these two, you can simply use the Move tool to align them. But if they have different orientations, you'll need to use the Align to 2 points tool. This feature will move, rotate and scale all at the same time to position the plan. To move the plan, let's go to the Plans menu and we want to edit the plan that we're moving. In this example, the proposed contours plan. So click Edit and then select the Move tool. We then click on the point that we're going to use as a base point. So we need to match this point on the existing ground site plan. Left click once on the plan we're editing, and then we can click a second time on the plan that it is being moved to. And there we go. Now we can see that the points have aligned and that our existing contours show underneath the proposed contours. For aligning to 2 points, we first want to go to the Plans menu and click Edit. Then select the Align to 2 points tool. Click the first point that we want to move, so let's use the same one as before on the proposed, and then find the corresponding point on the existing plan. And then repeat this for a second point. It's good to have 2 points that are quite far apart on your plans, because then it gives a more accurate positioning. When you're aligning to 2 points, it usually offers you 2 options of scale. My clicks were slightly off the 1:80 foot scale, so it gives the option to use the exact scale from the points I clicked, but we want the more accurate rounded figure of 1:80 because I know that's the scale on the plan. So let's click that one. You can see that there's a need for a slight adjustment, so we can reposition it using the Move tool to slightly improve the alignment. Okay, so that's the alignment complete. If you want to, you can use the crop tool to remove any unnecessary notes from the plans, and you can watch how to do that in our video on cropping colours and transparency. When overlaying different types of file, for example CAD and PDF site plans, be sure to import the CAD site plan first. This is because CAD files are already scaled and positioned, so they will import into the correct coordinates on the project. You can check on the cursor and see that the position is based on these coordinates. So we add the existing ground CAD plan first and then click OK. There's no need to scale it, but we then add the PDF for the proposed site plan. We can check the scale and it all looks correct. The scale matches the CAD plan. Now we can use the Move tool to overlay the proposed plan onto the CAD site plan. Left click once on the plan we're editing, and then we can click a second time on the plan that it is being moved to. And there we are. You can see that the overlay is complete. When stitching multiple site plans, alignment is crucial for creating a seamless view of the project. Let's walk through the process. We'll start by adding page 1 of a PDF with 4 sheets to align. Just like with overlaying, we begin by correctly scaling the first plan. This serves as the baseline for stitching the other plans. If you have coordinates available, you can use them to ensure the plans are placed in the correct coordinate space. Alternatively, you can scale by ratio, or if you know the distance between 2 points or a known length, you can use that as a reference. For this example, we'll use the ratio method. And there we go. Before adding another plan, we need to verify the scale, so hold down the M key and move the cursor across the 2 known points to check the known distance. And I can see that the distance is 150 feet, which is correct. I'll quickly crop the extra information I don't need. Our match line is here, so I'll crop just after it. And I'll rename this page Page 1, so that we can easily identify it later on to do any additional edits. Now we can add another plan. So go to the Plans menu and then Add from PDF. Next we add page 2 and click OK. This plan should be scaled the same as the one we previously scaled, so let's double check. These 2 points should be 150, but the scale doesn't look quite right. It's always good to check the scale for every site plan, as it may not have come in correctly, or it could be from a different project. So let's scale it in the same way we did before and check the distance again. You can see on the cursor that the scale is now correct. Next, I'll crop this plan as well. And we want to align it as close to the match lines as possible, but leaving a small gap. Sometimes plans might not have the same orientation, so they need to be rotated. In these cases, we can use the Rotate tool or use the aligned 2 points, which will move, rotate and scale the plan to match the destination. We don't need to do that here, but we can move it into position. To do that, we select the Move tool. I've clicked a point on the end of the match line, so I'll try to match the end of this line with the one on the other plan by clicking on the same point on the second plan. Since we've already scaled it, we don't need to adjust that. And now I'll rename this plan Page 2. The alignment looks pretty good. There's a slight gap, but this is what we want, and it's important to leave a small gap when stitching plans, so that the software can automatically join them when we're extracting the data. Gaps are preferable to overlaps, so keep that in mind. And add page 3. For page 3, I'll demonstrate the aligned 2 points method, so you can see that as well, which will allow us to stitch the plans more precisely. The match line has been cut from page 1, but we can use 2 different but recognisable points on pages 1 and 3 to align. For example, some text or the corner of a building. Click Aligned 2 points. So I'll use the corner on the letter F, and the second point I'll use is the arrow on this ramp here. With the Aligned 2 points option, you get the 2 options of scale. This one is almost correct, but not exactly, so I'll go with the most accurate measurement. With your project, you may want to do your Aligned 2 points again, so that you get a more accurate scale. And there you go, that's aligned, and now I can crop. So I'm going to crop from above the match line at the top, all the way across to the match line on the right. And then click OK. And I'll rename it page 3. OK. The gap between the pages is quite large on this one, so I'll just reduce that by clicking on Plans and Edit, and then clicking on the crop line until it turns green and dragging it into position. That now looks great. With the final page, we'll use the Aligned 2 points method again. So I've added the plan, and we'll align using the centre point and the end of the match line. Once that's done, we can crop this final plan, and this time I'll crop just under the match lines, leaving a slight gap between the plans. The alignment looks almost there, but we can just first rename the page to page 4, and then click the Move tool zoom into a point so we can accurately move it by clicking on the same point on both plans. And that's much better. And as you can see, we've successfully stitched together the 4 plans, which now form a single unified plan. So by following these steps, you can efficiently overlay or stitch multiple site plans, ensuring proper scaling and alignment for your projects. We can now add the ground topography, and these aligned plans will allow us to extract the data from the PDF vectors, and any gaps in the contour lines should automatically join.